Okay, guys, now we have Sharon Rachel Manu here. She has graduated from Model Engineering College, Trikakara, in 2018. She's a GHCI scholar, and now she's working at Deloitte. Okay, Sharon, could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. And first of all, hi Ritu. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for reaching out
Yeah, my
for the
pleasure.
interview and things. Yeah. So I'm Sharon, Sharon Rachel Manu. I'm from Kochi. Did my schooling in Vishakhapatnam though, but
Yeah, I saw
essentially
in
from
LinkedIn.
Kerala. Yeah. Essentially from Kerala. I graduated from Model Engineering College in 2018. I
Yeah.
did my BTech in computer science there. Yes, I was a GHCI scholar, 2017, and I'm currently working with Deloitte, Hyderabad. It's been 9 months here, and I'm actually liking it. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, can you tell about your interests, hobbies, etc.?
My interests and hobbies are pretty varied, but yeah, I used to like to dance. Not that I was an official dancer, but I used to like to dance. I used to like to paint, and let's see. I'm actually up for anything you give me except singing. I don't think I can sing. But otherwise, I used to love throwball. I used to be a big time throwball player when I was back in college. But in general, anything you give me, I love to do things.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
read that
origami and all.
Nikita Malia's blog. She wrote that you were called idiot.
Yeah, yeah. I used to be called idiot Rachel back in college. Not very proud of it, but yeah, I used to be on gunpoint the day. I'd be like, "Hey, we have to get this done and stuff." So yeah.
Okay, now can you share your experience in Deloitte, like how you joined there, how was the interview procedure, or like how did you get the job there?
Right. So my journey with, I mean, my journey about getting into Deloitte would be slightly different from what it is normally. I was a campus hire. I joined right after college, but it was not through the campus placement actually. Me and two of my friends, we participated as a team in this competition that Deloitte India, they're conducted all over the country. I think in selected colleges though, the colleges that they recruit from. So the competition was called Maverick at the rate of engineering colleges or engineering schools for that matter. So they had three tracks. They had a data pitch, sorry, they had a product pitching track, they had a data analytics track, and they had a cybersecurity track. So we participated in two of them, the product pitching and the data analytics. So the product pitching, we had actually given a prototype of an AI powered life jacket. That's what we had done. And we managed to get it to the top 10 around the country, which is pretty cool.
Congrats.
And yeah, thanks. And then Deloitte actually flew us down to Hyderabad for the national level finals. And yeah, we actually presented our idea in a boardroom to the leaders at Deloitte. We got into the top three, so we was finalists, and we didn't the first prize. But yeah, because we were finalists, we had pre-placement interviews in the sense that before Deloitte came on campus at MEC to recruit, they actually offered the three of us interviews, to join Deloitte. And yeah, me and a friend of mine, Shweta, the two of us cleared the interview, and yeah, that's how I got in. So it is not a proper campus placement drive, but through the competition. But campus placement drive, it is you have the aptitude test that you have to clear, and then you'll either have a group discussion or a jam, which is just a minute, or some sort of an interaction or a case study, and yeah, then you have one or two rounds of interviews, and that's how you get.
Okay, so what all skills should we have to clear these tracks? Like what all should be like prerequisites for this?
Okay, so I do not know specifically about the competition. I think one thing about Deloitte would be people have a misconception Deloitte is not a technology-based company, which is wrong. Deloitte is driven by technology and innovation. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I think more than being able to speak well or communicate well, it is about knowing how to communicate what you have done properly. It is not just about speaking big things, but for example, if you're talking about getting placed at Deloitte, it is about you having your resume and explaining or introducing yourself properly, or getting across the points on your resume properly. So one thing they look for is, from what I understand, see, when we are all campus hires, right? Except of course a brilliant few, a lot of us are not exactly probably prepared for what is coming for us when you join a firm. So that is something the firm knows. As freshers, we may not know all the things that we're supposed to know, right? But I think what we need to convince them of, or what we should be for that matter, is that we are confident and we are willing to work hard and that we are willing to learn. That's what one of my leads or managers here actually told me. That when he recruits, something he looks to is whether the person is keen on learning, on adapting to new situations. Because what college is not what a corporate life or a working life is. It's not that it's crazy hard, but you need to adapt. You need to switch gears. No one is going to come and tell you everything. You have to learn on your own. Work hard. So yeah, as long as you're able to tell them, I mean, you should have a good resume, of course, but more than that, you should be able to explain or communicate about yourself well. One, know everything that is there on your resume, and three, show that eagerness or willingness to work hard and learn. Yeah.
Okay, was your dream to work in Deloitte, or was it any other company you wish to join?
Um, well, actually, I'm still on the way of figuring out what exactly it is that I wanted to do. I mean, I do not have an end goal per
Okay, I
se.
can understand because you passed out last year.
Yeah, so while a lot of people have that, I didn't. I still don't.
Yeah,
I think Deloitte is a great place to start.
yeah,
I have not decided on a timeline here or anything. For currently, Deloitte offers great opportunities for me. It gives me scope to explore because Deloitte is a services. I mean, though I was at one point keen on a product based company. As a service based company, you have a lot of things that you get to work on, and you see a lot more aspects. And Deloitte is a business driven firm, basically. So you see the marketing aspect of it, you see the finance aspect of it. I mean, you have to ask around, but yeah, you see all aspects. So it's giving me more options to learn from and explore. So yeah, I do not have an end goal. I still don't. I mean, I did not and I don't. But yeah, currently Deloitte is good, and I look to learn more, explore more. So my end goal or company keeps changing. Currently, I'm very very happy with Deloitte.
yeah. Today morning, I read an article that Deloitte is launching world-class skill development program in India to empower
Mhm.
10 million women by 2030.
Hmm.
So,
I'll
uh,
read a bit. Yeah, cool.
so you
Yeah,
did not.
Deloitte has. I have not read about this, but there's something that is called incubation hubs already, where they choose like 3 to 4 programs. I mean, 3 to 4 fields,
Yeah,
and they offer interns coaching and training, and you get certified also at the end of it. So I'm
yeah,
looking to be a part of one incubation hub soon. So anyway, Deloitte gives a lot of opportunities for you to upskill and grow. So yeah,
yeah. It was written that they make them that women they make them industry ready, much in line with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And it
right,
was
right,
written
right.
that in India it has partnered with two organizations, Pratham and Kata. Like something was
Mm-hmm.
written. I read it today
Right.
morning actually.
Oh,
So,
great.
how was your experience so far at Deloitte?
The experience so far at Deloitte has been great. The people are really warm. The working environment is great. The work culture is great. Work-life balance, as they call it. These are really big terms to me. As you know, when I was in college, and I used to hear people tell me work-life balance and things. I used to be like, okay, sounds like a big deal. But yeah, so that way there is work. I would say pressure, but there are deadlines that you have to meet and things. But still, the people are very understanding. And I think the best part about Deloitte is they really, really do care about you and your growth. For example, I work in the performance management system for the entire firm. And the approach to performance is very holistic. It's not just about how well you're doing in your project, but are you working on your strengths? Are you part of other initiatives on the firm? Are you interacting with people? Or are you helping out with other things? So there is a very holistic approach at Deloitte. So basically, and there are a lot of activities happening in and around, fun activities, learning activities, a lot of trainings, formal, informal. So as a company, Deloitte is very, very involved and invest a lot in their employees, which is the best part about Deloitte, I think. So yeah, so far it's been great, and yeah, there is a long, long way ahead to learn and probably contribute back. Yeah.
So, did you had any aptitude test like Did we have to answer any essays? Like for when we apply for scholarships, we are asked to write something like, why do we want to acquire this, or why do we want to get a job there? Was
Mm-hmm.
something like that? Was
So,
it
like I
there?
said, when I got into the competition, no, I didn't. But otherwise, also Deloitte does not have a situation where you have to write an SOP about yourself. They check your aptitude. I mean, of course, the aptitude test is there.
So
Uh,
whatever they ask in aptitude, like what
the
kind?
general, general quantitative things, you have certain case studies, sort of things that you have to answer as to if you're in a situation in the company where you have to, what is that, give advice to your teammate, or you have to approach a manager with something. How will you deal with it? What is your approach? Or in the following possibilities, if you had four ways of dealing with a situation, what is your first preference, second, third, fourth? So all those minimal, some situations do come up in your aptitude test, but it's just to know whether you are attuned to teamwork and things like that. No big deal, you should be fine.
Did they ask for any recommendation letter or something like that?
No, 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 no recommendation letter or anything.
Okay. What is the shortlisting process after this? Like, how do they shortlist the participants? Many will be applying, right? So,
So, this is you're asking me in terms of campus hiring or in general?
in general, like how, like many will be applying for this, right? You said like,
All right, all right. So if it is a fresher, you always have to go through the aptitude test. Right? You have to send in your resume, and there'll be an aptitude test. But I think ultimately the cut is they'll probably have certain positions open. So if you match the fit, you will be, taken in. As campus hires, they do not check our skill set as such when they take, because once you join, you have a month or month and a half training where they, shape you up into whatever role that you have to take up. Akshay, I think when you apply separately, they will look for your skill set also, so that there is a role that they have, you have to fit into that role. So in that case, I think the criteria would be, if the role is available, if the skill set matching, sorry, if the role matching a skill set is there, I think you have higher chances of getting in. So if you really want to get into Deloitte or an off-campus drive, maybe you should check out what the openings are. One, two, shape up your resume. I mean, be honest, of course, not make up randomly, but yeah, tailor your resume matching that particular position. I think that works.
okay, so you are also a GHCI scholar. So can you share your GHC experience? Like, how did you apply the experience there also? Can you share with
All
us?
right. So GHCI was a turning point for me, in the sense that, one, I think the biggest takeaway for me was I met around 190, no, 150 other girls. I mean, who I already had connected with before going to the conference, through applying and post getting the scholarship. So with a lot of them are still in touch. We are still in touch, and they're all such a big network, such a strong network of people to go back to when you need help or any advice or anything for that matter. So because we already were in touch before we went for the scholarship, when we met at GHCI, it was like we knew each other for the longest time. We had a lot of fun, and hearing their perspectives, hearing their journeys, hearing their aspirations actually opened up my mind to a lot of other things. Possibilities of studying, or projects that they work on and all. So that was very inspiring for one. Two, I was not the geekiest of people back in college. I was not a tech freak, to be honest. I mean, I was interested and I was involved in a lot of things. I had my projects and things, but I was not the geekiest person around. So I also had that misconception that, GHCI was for people who were geeks, you know. But I think the best thing about GHCI is, or similar scholarships, is that, of course, the katta padipis, of course, maybe get in, but they do push people who are interested, who want to return, give something back to the society, who show that passion for technology or people or making an impact that they bring forward. So that misconception that I had to be certain, I think if you all have, there's a bubble that we create about people who get into these scholarships or things. For example, I had it when I applied for Deloitte's competition. That there'll be very very key people who would be getting in.
Yeah.
You know, who are deep into all of this. Who are passionate,
Great
of course.
coders.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I had that misconception, but this actually gave me a set of confidence. Since then, I have actually tried doing more things, saying that, you know what, if I applied, I could convince them that I'm someone who's really passionate about this, who wants to be a leader in tech, or someone who wants to empower others for that matter. I think it's a good, I mean, more than a good chance. I mean, basically, GHCI gave me that confidence. So that was the second thing. Because there were a lot of goodies. Yeah, the goodies were there,
Yeah.
and the
Free
women
food.
that you free food. I was a full scholar, so I did get to stay at Marriott. It was a really nice, comfortable experience, and the women that you meet there, you see so many women there. You get to interact with them, but you see how well they're doing it. You see that confidence in them and how they are driving a lot of those organizations that are there. So you feel, like, okay, there's something to look up to, that you can get there. It is hard, but it is not impossible. So I think that was the next big thing. So I think confidence and meeting a network of people was the biggest takeaways for me apart from the goodies. And apart from that, yeah, I actually wanted to come back and have more girls applying for it. So I do once in a while get in touch with Rethink, Arya, and all these people so that more and more people do it, because it is an amazing experience. And well, post GHCI, I did get a lot of, what do you say, offers and things from companies coming in.
You attended the
Uh,
career fair?
yeah, I attended the career fair. Career fair comes as a part of. I'm so sorry, I forgot to mention that the career fair is another big experience. You get to interact with the people from these institutions, from these companies, which is another what do you say, insight or view or a closer look into how these organizations work. You hear firsthand from them how the what do you say, the mission and vision of these companies. Sometimes you're able to relate with them. For example, Deloitte is impact that matters. Deloitte was not there at the career fair, but so things like that, you actually relate yourself to something, and again, it pushes you to do better. Career fair, there was SAP, Amazon, Google, Bloomsburg, Adobe, Thomas Cook, lot of companies. And these companies actually reached out later on. HSBC, I remember, they had tests for you to attempt, and if you clear it, you do get to have an interview with them and probably get placed. Yeah. So I had a couple of tests. I got through for Microsoft. I had actually reached the final round, but I didn't make the final cut. But it was still a wonderful experience. Again, like I said about GHCI, I didn't think I would make it to Microsoft for that matter. But I felt it was possible.
Did you
Uh,
intern there, Microsoft?
no, I didn't. I didn't have any stint at Microsoft, but I only got to visit the campus and have the interview. That's it. But it still gave me a boost. Yeah.
Where did you do your internship during your college time?
I did my internship. I did my internship twice, as in one was after my second year and once after third year. At the end of second year, I did it at Startup Village with a startup called Technorip. They were working on something related to VR. So yeah, I was only a research associate because I was only, 2 years of college study was done. So they were not, having me working on things. But it was a great experience seeing how a startup worked and how, a small team can actually do wonders. That was something that I took away from there. And the year after that, I actually interned with DRDO. I interned with DRDO at Visakhapatnam. They work on, I mean, this particular organization was working on underwater vehicles, a little bit of AI and things like that, actually. So I was working with them in understanding how embedded systems and UI for, I mean, UI components for an embedded system and underwater vehicles is what I was working on. Yeah.
Okay, so you have been working in Deloitte for the past few months, right? So what is your biggest takeaway?
Biggest takeaway, um, let me see. I think one would be that you should learn to adapt. Like I said, what is in college is not what is in a workplace. The way you interact with people is different. The way you reach out to people is different. You should be your formal self, while you should remember to be informal. You should not make it all, excuse me, madam, or things like that. But you should know that everyone has their own things to do. So I would say it's a corporate way, but it's a more understanding way. You give space to each other. That is one. Second is teamwork. Work as a team. Your team is, your I would say goal, but is something you drive. You're part of the team. Anything you do good is a plus for the team, and anything you might get wrong, the team takes it together. So teamwork is the next thing, and I'm not sure. And yeah, basically the urge to keep learning. Like just because you got into a job does not mean you're done. Okay, you're sorted for life. You have to keep learning and make sure you do more stuff when you're at work. So yeah, I'm keen on investing more in myself, whether it is work or learning or helping out someone else or volunteering in some activity. So yeah, I think the urge or the the initiative to invest in yourself, to keep learning is what I'm still taking away from Deloitte, and Deloitte does invest in you. So yeah, it's a win-win situation.
Is there anything you want to tell to the girls who aspire to be in Deloitte?
Uh, I think for anyone, not just girls, for anyone who wants to be in Deloitte, like I said, one, have a good resume. Yes, do not have the misconception that Deloitte is on management. It's very, very tech-driven. So yeah, have a good resume. More importantly, make sure you know everything that you've written on in your resume and know how to communicate it. Have a good self introduction, like how Ritu asked me, introduce yourself. So more than about yourself, what it is that drives you, what you're passionate about. You should know why you want to get into Deloitte. Why Deloitte is an answer you should find. If you really want Deloitte, why you want to get into Deloitte and why Deloitte should choose you. If you can answer these two questions, I think you're good to go in terms of an interview. And yeah, it is a great place to work. You have the company all in all support for you, so it is a great place to work. So yeah, do I mean if you're going through the aptitude testing process, prepare for your aptitude, of course, but more importantly, make sure you're able to explain yourself to whoever is interviewing you. That's it.
Okay, Sharon, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you for sparing few minutes for me.
Yeah. Thank you, Ritu. I hope I didn't take too much time though.
No, 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 no. It was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ritu. All the best to you and everyone else who's watching. Bye.
Bye.